This one just bugs me to no end. The DEA paid $1.5 million to Amtrak and TSA sources for information they could have gotten for free by going through the proper law enforcement channels. In fact, in one case, the DEA paid one Amtrak employee, a United States government employee, $854,460 over 20 years just for sending passenger name records along. $854,000 this person took. One person from Amtrak. The DEA's records were so bad that the Inspector General couldn't determine whether the sources were being reliable. The DEA paid more than $9 million to old informants that were no longer considered active, despite a policy against paying deactivated informants. The DEA provided federal benefits, including workers' comp, to confidential sources with no process or controls on how these benefits were awarded. And finally, the DEA was uncooperative with the Inspector General throughout much of the investigation. Nothing but nothing will frustrate Congress more than limited access for the Inspector General. You know, I say this almost every day now. We're different in the United States of America. We're different. We are self-critical. We do look under the hood. We do have people come in and audit things. We do it in the spirit of making things better. There is no reason that I can think of that the DEA should ever hold any information back from the Inspector General's office. And I want to hear the answer to that. It's just terribly frustrating, and it's wrong. The Department of Justice Inspector General also pointed out another boondoggle by the DEA in a joint venture with the Department of Defense. The purpose of the 2008 program was to procure and modify an aircraft for surveillance operations in Afghanistan in 2012. After 8 years and millions of dollars wasted, at the last report, the plane sits in Delaware, inoperable, resting on jacks. The program has resulted in the government paying $86 million, 4 times what it was supposed to, for a plane that was supposed to be ready in 2012, and it's still not flying. In fact, it's projected to be ready in 2017 and will never fly the mission it was intended for originally in Afghanistan. Despite the program's delay and expanding budget, 14 senior managers, and this is what, again, we're going to have to explain this to me. Here we have a plane that's approaching $100 million that isn't flying, wasn't used in Afghanistan, and the 14 senior managers responsible for the program received a combined $1 million in bonuses. How can that be? How do you get a bonus when you screw up? How do you take $1 million out of the U.S. taxpayers' wallets and give it to 14 managers for a program that's spent almost $100 million and doesn't work? We love the men and women who work at the DEA. It is tough. I have but a few times gone out with agents like this and our local law enforcement and watched them go through this. It is dangerous. It is tough. It doesn't get enough patting on the back. But ladies and gentlemen, we can't waste the American taxpayer dollars to this degree. Should we be paying for confidential informants? I think yes. Should we be giving one Amtrak employee $850,000+ to hand over a list of passengers? No. And that taints the entire agency, the reputation of the good men and women who work there. But we have to answer these questions, and we want to get some answers to this. So, okay. We'd now like to recognize, actually, Mr. Lynch, a gentleman from Massachusetts, for an opening statement. Mr. Lynch, you're now recognized.
Thank you very much.